Hey everyone, this is Liren Falzoni here with Super T Studios, working on our main project, Voidwalker. What I wanted to do today was just give you an idea of Voidwalker and how we're working with the graphics in the game. The biggest question I've been getting here is this the final version of the graphics, or is this what the graphics is going to look like? While I could just sit here and write out a really long-winded answer saying no, very much not, I wanted to go ahead and give you just an idea of where we were going to go and exactly why the demo looks like it does. The reason I'm showing you that I'm in Unity right now is because I'm not actually going to be using baked builds of the demo or the next scene I'm going to show you. I'm just going to hit the play button and show you what I have here in Unity, so I can kind of go over everything as I show. So this is the main demo scene, if you can recognize. I have to apologize also, this is an old build of the demo. Isaac has the most recent build on his computer and he's left for the weekend, so I just figured I'd pop in my old build here and go through it with you. First things that I'm sure most of you noticed, there's no shadows, there's really odd contrasts between what is lit really well, what's lit really badly. You know, there's no real happy medium between them. There's no overall color to bring everything together. My sky sphere isn't even rotating on this demo. Look at that, I don't have clouds. Either way, just to give you an idea, we've actually had a little bit of issue with the terrain. This is the last time you will ever see this particular terrain being used in Voidwalker, because as much as we like it for its moldability and, you know, the grass is pretty and stuff, it is a little low poly, low texture for us, and unfortunately we can't light map it. I've had one going for literally 19 hours and 48 minutes over the course of one weekend. Went to bed, woke up, it was still going. And we've realized that it is impossible to bake a light map into a region like this. Or at least anything using this kind of terrain. So, disappointing, sure, but we felt that because we had the mechanics going, you can see I have a very old build of Kaya series blocking most of the screen when I look down. Since we had the mechanics and we had a lot of the story going and everything, we just figured we'd release the demo as is and plaster alpha graphics all over everything, because we're pretty happy with the mechanics and the story. It's just obviously the graphics were an issue. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is show you kind of, I guess on one hand, how you can make this level look a little better, but I've built another scene that I have baked a light map into, and we'll just show that real quick here. So this is the same scene after a lot of finagling and trying to figure out how exactly to get this terrain plugin to take shadows, and just kind of giving the directional lights a little bit of a tint. But really, with this terrain and the inability to bake a light map, this was probably as good as it was going to get. So what I'm going to do now is just leave here and show you a scene that I've built specifically for the purpose of displaying what the graphics are kind of now in later levels that we've built without the voxel land. And also just kind of give an idea of the artistic style that we could potentially take this game in. So this is a scene I've built to show off lighting, or, you know, lighting and graphics in general. Right now there's no light mapping, there's no camera filters or post-processing on it at all. We are still in Unity, that's why you're getting weird little edgy things as my character sways. You know, it's not completely baked into a final project yet. But I figured that in order to show you what we can do with the project, I'll explain light mapping and filters. So I've got this little scene. It's a little courtyard with like a table and stuff. You know, we've got a neat little balcony out here. My sky sphere with my non-rotating clouds yet. I need to get that done. But the boys are the ones that do the scripting, so nah. Got my floating little villa, I guess. And back here I've made kind of a little cave, get an idea of what my caves might look like after being all light mapped and post-processed and stuff. So we're going to go back here, because I like this view with the different lights and things. I'm going to go turn the play mode off. So here we are again, back in Unity with the whole monitor, mostly because I just want to be able to show you the entire process of how baking light maps really make a difference in the scene. So right now there's nothing. This is exactly the same amount of effects and mapping that the demo had. So, you know, there's not much definition between anything. Things just kind of stand apart. It doesn't look like a cohesive scene. So I've already got some light maps. I'm going to just find them here for you real quick. We're going to see light map far 0. And I mean, that's already bringing out a lot of reflections and shadows. And then we're going to go over here and find our light map far 1, because the nears aren't really doing much. Actually, the nears are already selected, never mind. So, as you can see, this just all of a sudden makes everything pop. Like, that is the biggest problem I had with the demo, was I wasn't able to bake a light map into it, so I wasn't able to get all of these great, like, dimensional things popping out. And let me just, I'll hit play here, and I'll bring you around and walk you around and just show you that what this alone can do for the scene. So as we're looking around the scene here, we are noticing that there are a couple awkward little, you know, triangles in the light mapping. That can really be easily fixed with Photoshop. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But we can see also, look at the shadows on the ground. You know, they're a little dark right now, which I'll show you will be fixed with Photoshop. But it gives it this great texture and this great amount of kind of dirt-looking like stuff around here. It just makes the scene a little bit more gritty. We'll go back here, and you know, this might be a little bright, everything's a little more defined, but we can go again, take that light map and fix it in Photoshop. The key part of this whole thing is, though, how well things are already starting to pop. So here we are in Photoshop with one of our light maps, and we can see, remember those triangles on the walls here that we weren't too fond of. This is the gate that there were some shadows on that were a little dark. That's a near map. This is the other far map. The shadow over here was a little oppressive, but we can fix that. Like, I'll just come over here, and probably what I'll do if this was a real level that I was making, you know, I'll take some of this and, whoops, you know, clone away some of the triangles here so that it doesn't actually do that to you. And I would do that to about everything, and then I'd go back and look at it and see what I like and fix it up. Maybe that would be a splatter brush, a grunge brush or something, just giving shadows their own life and their own being. We can also add color in here. You can see that this is probably where the candles were, because there was a nice white color. There you can tell where the darker lights are, or the bluish light on here, and on this one a little bit, especially there. You can see that that was where the table was. And this is what's really giving it that pop. Here's that little bit of blue. So, you know, this would be modified and refined and everything, and Photoshop's really where I'm most comfortable, so I know I have a lot of fun with these. But let's go back to Unity for a second. So here we are back in Unity. I haven't actually saved anything in Photoshop yet. I just wanted to show you that that's how light maps actually worked. You can lighten them up, darken them down. You can do whatever you want with a light map, and it overlays the whole scene, and just, you know, if you sit there and fiddle with it, it'll make it look really great. But I also wanted to show you what post-processing effects we can have. So I'm going to go over here to the inspector. I've got my main camera. It's yelling at me that I don't have the Oculus plugged in, but that's the other computer. And this is just a whole list of different effects, and this is how the AAA games really get their look. We can do things like a depth cutoff, which just adds a lot more shadows behind things. It makes things pop off really, really well. If we wanted to go for a more artistic look, we could edge detect and kind of make it more cel shaded, either with all the little jittery lines or, without. This is, again, if we wanted an artistic look, I'm kind of in favor of this one myself. I know Isaac likes the really, really super artsy ones. Mark was kind of teetering between the two. And really, whether or not we go artsier or more realistic than we already are is something that we're going to really allow our backers to decide. Because we've got the mechanics down, that's our baby, the whole spellcasting system, that's what we wanted to do. I love my skies. I'm sorry, there's probably very little I would compromise on those. But when it comes to the rest of the game, the three of us are up to about anything when it comes to graphics. We're the ones that we want to tell the story, but you're the ones who want the story told to them, I hope. And however you want to see that, that's totally your call. So we can add in a little bit of a glow to make it pop even a little more, make it more cartoony. We can overlay a really bright light to make things pop even more if they want to. I'm not, we can take that and take it intensity up and down, which isn't doing anything right now, but nah. Even more depth cutoff, a little more shadows. You want a sepia tone effect, you can do that. Personally, I like color. I really, really like color. I really want this game to be as colorful as possible. That's why part of the idea behind the backing of having at least 8 different realms is so that we can really play with the color in the realms and just blend all of these colors together and make it really pop. I mean, there's tone mapping that you can overlay. Oh, no, that was another kind of bloomy thing. I can twirl it here if you want me to. We've got, let's really get Caius into a trippy dream state. This is kind of cool. It kind of makes an eye, focusing lens in the middle. I know personally playing games with too much of this gives me a real bad headache, so I wouldn't probably do that to you unless everyone wanted it. You want to kind of tilt the edges around. He's waking up from a dream. You want a vortex. I mean, goodness, there's about anything I can do. And these are just a very small example of all of the post-processing effects that are possible to lay over this game. There were ones that Isaac had that he had the cel shading, and then he just made everything a color. So it kind of looked like this weird wireframe game. He has this other one that he was looking at, and I really got to get him recording that on his computer, that makes everything kind of look like it's been drawn with an ink pen. The sky is endless. But I just wanted to give you a short video, probably not so short anymore, on exactly what we can do with this game, exactly where we can go with it, and I promise, the graphics are not, that they are the last thing on our mind at the moment, and we were really kind of hoping that that would be okay for the Kickstarter, because we do like how the mechanics are working, we do really like how the spells are starting to shape up. And I'm just going to ask, please have patience with the graphics, and go enjoy the rest of the game. Go set everything on fire, break whatever you want, throw boulders around. I've got a library of in-game books that are going to be coming out in the next update, and have fun. So thank you for sticking through me with this. I hope you enjoy what you see, and just go ahead and share with your friends. The more people know, the better Voidwalker will be. Thank you.